योऽन्ता प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तान् सञ्जीवयत किल शक्तिधरा स्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणात्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं कथाञ्चना स्मृते यस्मिन् दुष्करं सुकरं भवेत् विस्मृते विपरीतं स्यात् श्रीचैतन्य नमामि तम्। Hare Krishna. Welcome all devotees to our morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are reading from second canto, chapter 9, entitled Answers by Citing the Lord's Version. Text number 3. This is a continuation from yesterday. Yesterday also we read third verse. Today also we will read. So please repeat. Yarhi vava mahimne sve परस्मिन् कालमाययोः रमेता गतसम्मोहः त्यक्त्वोदास्ते तदोभयम्. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. As soon as the living entity becomes situated in his constitutional glory and begins to enjoy the transcendence beyond time and material energy, he at once gives up the two misconceptions of life, I and mine, and thus becomes fully manifested as the pure self. Purport. We will continue reading from yesterday. Yesterday we read half the purport. Today we will read the remaining half. The Supreme Truth is uncontaminated by the illusory energy because he is the controller of that energy. The relative truths are apt to be engrossed in the illusory energy. The best purpose is served, however, when one is directly facing the Supreme Truth as one faces the sun. The sun overhead in the sky is full of light, but when the sun is not in the visible sky, all is in darkness. Similarly, when one is face to face with the Supreme Lord, he is free from all illusions. And one who is not so in the darkness of illusory, and one who is not so, he is in the darkness of illusory Maya. The Bhagavad Gita 14.26 confirms this as follows: Mam chove vicharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunan samatitetan brahma bhuhaya kalpate. So the science of Bhakti Yoga, of worshipping the Supreme Lord, glorifying the Lord, hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam from the right sources, not from the professional man, but from a person who is Bhagavatam in life, and being always in the association of pure devotees, should be adopted in earnestness. One should not be misled by the misconceptions of I and mine. The karmis are fond of the conception of mine. The jnanis are fond of the conception of I. And both of them are unqualified to be free from the bondage of the illusory energy. Srimad Bhagavatam and primarily the Bhagavad Gita are both meant for delivering a person from the misconception of I and mine. And Srila Vyasadeva transcribed them for the deliverance of the fallen souls. The living entity has to be situated in the transcendental position where there is no longer any influence of time or the material energy. In conditioned life, the living entity is subjected to the influence of time in the dream of past, present, and future. The mental speculator tries to conquer the influence of time by speculating about becoming Vasudeva or the Supreme Lord in the future by means of culturing knowledge and conquering over ego. But the process is not perfect. The perfect process is to accept Lord Vasudeva as the Supreme in everything. And the best perfection in culturing knowledge is to surrender unto Him because He is the source of everything. Only in that conception can one get rid of the misconception of I and mine. Both the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam confirm it. Srila Vyasadeva has specifically contributed to the illusion living entities, the science of God and the process of Bhakti Yoga in his great literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the conditioned soul should fully take advantage of this great science. So we are reading. Actually, this is a continuation from the yesterday's class. And what we are actually seeing is in the previous chapter, we have to go back. The last chapter, 7th verse, Parishit Maharaj had asked a question. The answer is being given now. The question he asked was that the jiva, the living entity, we are pure, pure spirit soul. How come we have got this material body? The logical question everybody has. So the first 3 verses of this chapter, today the 3rd verse, this question is being answered. So what Shukdev Goswami said in the first 2 verses, that the soul is pure, but the soul feels connection to the body because of what? Because of Maya or illusion. This is Shukdev Goswami's verdict. And in today's verse, the 3rd verse, Shukdev Goswami is emphatically declaring that when the soul, when I, Atma, gets in touch with Krishna, when that happens, then this misconception will go away. And this misconception is what? When we are in the bodily identity, I, mine. This is Mithya Ahankar, false ego. So, and yesterday, of course, we saw a detailed analysis on the Aham Mameti, I and mine. You know, Anandadulal Prabhu gave a master class on the range from that factory owner who is happy and sad when his factory gets burnt because of I and mine. And then he took it to the other extreme of Radharani and the left-wing gopis feeling a sense of ownership with Krishna. So the whole range we learnt yesterday. So this aham mameti, I in the material condition, is very, very strong. So if you see I want to read the translation again. As soon as the living entity becomes situated in his constitutional glory, which means as Krishna's servant, then we enjoy the transcendence beyond time and material energy. We give up the misconception of life, 2 misconceptions, I and mine, and thus become fully manifested as the pure self. See, basically the essence of this verse is that somehow get in touch with Krishna. We have to become Krishnaized through the Bhakti Yoga process. Then these misconceptions will go away. Now the $1 billion question is, okay, I'm doing Bhakti Yoga last so many years. Still I have this strong Mithya Ahankar. It's not gone. So what is going wrong, or what can I do? Am I doing something wrong while practicing Bhakti Yoga? Yes, there are 3 very important points here. This false ego, our problem is we are trying to analyze the false ego and try to conquer it through our intelligence. Now, after the gross matter, there is mind. Subtler than mind is intelligence. And subtler than intelligence is ego. So we are trying to conquer ego with intelligence, means something which is more subtler than intelligence. How can our intelligence conquer that? Not possible. So first point is, with our intelligence we cannot conquer the false ego. Second very important point is, we need higher intelligence. We need an intelligence beyond ourselves, which is the Mahatattva, which is the intelligence of the Lord manifest in this world through scriptures. So when we hear scriptures, transcendental sound, that is also intelligence, and that intelligence can conquer our false ego. This is the second very important point. That means basically hearing Bhagavatam, pastimes. We already know the pastimes, Gajendra, Dhruva, Prahlad, but we keep hearing them again and again because that is an intelligence higher than mine. That will purify my false ego and help me remove the misconception of I and mine. So we can never underestimate hearing the same pastime, saying that I know this already, I've been coming for Bhagavatam class for so many years. No. When we hear the culture of Bhagavatam classes is for this, accessing a higher intelligence with which our ahankar can be conquered. This is the second point. First is, with our intelligence we cannot conquer false ego. Second is, we need higher intelligence. Now third is, okay, I have scriptures. I'm here reading scriptures for so many years. Still I feel, I'm fighting with devotees, I'm judging others, I'm fault finding. This Mithya Ahankar is very strong. Then there's a third most important point. We have to make a change in the attitude. our attitude is, as a sadhaka, many of us, we are still control freaks. We want to achieve Krishna Prem. We want to figure out, we want to control our senses. We fancy ourselves as a spiritual warrior, a soldier who is going to conquer over Maya. This we have to change. We have to fight. We have to be a soldier. We have to fight Maya. But we have to slowly start making a shift from being a soldier to a beggar. And there are two very interesting, contrasting identities. So I've written something on my journal on this conception that we need to move from being a soldier who's fighting Maya to being what? A beggar. See, as a young devotee, when I joined the temple, I remember, we fancied ourselves as spiritual warriors, as soldiers, this bead bag, it was like AK-47, shooting Maya, Hare Krishna, we are like, with adrenaline pumping, marching forward very confidently in our devotional service. And our seniors and comrades, they would encourage us, come on, fight the enemy known as Maya, you are strong. And all the illusory forces we can conquer. We can become pure devotee in 2-3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. I'm confident. So I would go around chanting, roaring at the enemy called Maya, preaching. And our friends also assure us that we will emerge victorious. And we are also young when we come to KC. And we are determined to win the war against Maya, go back to Kingdom of God. So I remember I would preach fearlessly, chant with determination. And my weapon was what? The bead bag. Hare Krishna. And of course, the shelter of association of devotees. And the shooting bullets of this warrior with the AK-47 is compared to preaching fearlessly, telling about Krishna. So we are conquering over Maya. That's what we think, we imagine. And I'm serving selflessly. So like this, few years pass in a very happy, Krishna conscious life. And then one day, suddenly, a bullet of serious doubt, it comes from the other side. It was a close shave. And a warrior who was preaching, chanting, he feels shaken. Hare kya ho gaya? Then another bomb of some faith-shaking scandal or controversy explodes. And this warrior somehow barely dives to safety. So then we take guard, adjust our gun, bead bag. And so many temptations, distractions come, threaten to pull us away from our spiritual life. But I am determined to fight and win this war against Maya. And I look back at those devotees who egged me on to come on, fight the Maya, fight, get a great warrior. So I was going ahead with the gun, shooting in the air. Initially, nothing was happening. Maya was not fighting back. But when the bullet started coming, when the bomb started exploding, I looked back to see, अरे वो कहाँ है दोस्त लोग जो मेरे को बोले आगे बढ़ो. And I look back and I see there is no one. And that time a realization dawns that, of course, they are there, but each one is fighting his own battle at the end of the day. So then I realized it's difficult to swallow. Yes, I'm alone. I'm fighting this war. I have friends. I have spiritual support. Everything is there. The Krishna consciousness community is our shelter. But Satyanandan Maharaj writes very beautiful in his book, I think, Art of Transformation, that how much of our association we have, ultimately we have to fly our own plane. Srila Prabhupada also writes that in the first canto purport, Draupadi section, where Draupadi is going back to Godhead. He says we have to ultimately fly our own plane. So, yes, it's my battle. And I have to fight all these scuffles alone. I have to fight all of this. Now, all these years, I was flaunting my bead bag and I was preaching vigorously. But Maya had not taken me seriously. But now she is determined to finish me. This is what a devotee realizes after some years of chanting, preaching, and service. Now, as we start fighting this unrelenting enemy called illusion, illusory forces, because of which we are in this misconception of I and mine, sadhaka starts feeling weak. He also feels disappointed at his inadequacies and also gets discouraged. But he puts up a brave front. I'm a warrior, I'm a fighter, because I'm a gritty spiritual warrior. I have to win this war. And a devotee actually believes that he can win this war. But secretly, many devotees hope and pray that Maya takes pity on me and spares us the daily battles, because we are getting battle tired. And one day we read this famous pastime of Haridas Thakur, that he was tempted by Maya Devi, personified, had come to him with all her enticing grandeur. We all know that pastime from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Maya Devi herself came to lure Haridas Thakur. And now a devotee has known this pastime all these years. But for the first time, a devotee realizes after some years, wow, Haridas Thakur chanted 192 rounds every day. And I think all of us know he chanted them attentively, right? Otherwise, Lord Chaitanya would not have called him as Namacharya. So here is someone who chanted 192 rounds every day and chanted them attentively, and still he was not spared from Maya's test. And here I am, chanting only 16 rounds, and that inattentively. And I'm thinking and hoping I will not face struggles, I will not face problems, Maya will not trouble me. So how can we expect Maya to be lenient? Maya is not going to be lenient. So this is a wake-up call. So every devotee in Krishna consciousness, once we come to Hare Krishna movement, start chanting, associating, at some point of time we go through what is called as a wake-up call. If you are complacent, see, if you are absorbed and focused, intense, great. But unfortunately, many of us, we are intense but not conscientious. We are not careful in our intensity. In the sense, we are not aware. We don't practice awareness. We are intense only in the external rituals. Intensity without this sensitivity leads to insanity. We have to understand that Maya is not going to give up. So there is a wake-up call. And then a devotee realizes, this is not an ordinary battle, this is a lifelong war. A few battle victories doesn't excite the sadhaka anymore, because there is always the next time when Maya is going to attack, right? And the more successful we are in devotional service, the more tests and challenges will come. That is for sure. In fact, what we do, we fight harder. We struggle to perform more austerities. I've seen devotees, we want to do more Nirjala Ekadashi, more chanting. We take on more responsibilities. We become more busy with day-long services in the hope that I will have no time for Maya and I will be blissful. But Maya, you know what she does when we do all of this? She secretly smiles, because she knows that our attempts are foolish, because she has unlimited tricks up her sleeve. See, like every warrior has an arsenal, a quiver of arrows. Her arsenal of temptations and distractions are so much that it's endless actually. There is no way we can conquer over her. She's present in the material world everywhere. And a number of arrows she has, in compared to, that makes her the most powerful archer in this material world. And we are what? Tiny, tiny soldier. We are no match for her. So this is where we come in bhakti. After some years of practice, that I am completely insignificant. I tried my best to be a soldier, warrior, powerful archer. I did so much in bhakti, but Maya is way, way stronger. Much, much stronger. So this is the time we adopt what is called as out-of-the-box solution. Right? The fighter has to give up the soldier's ropes and put on a beggar's demeanor. See, we look at beggars. How do we look at beggars? We generally look at them with the up-down approach, right? We look at beggars with compassion. Oh, he needs my kindness. But have we ever looked at a beggar with a down-up approach, which means putting ourselves in that beggar situation and seeing how he's desperate? That's how we need to develop. That's the mood we need to develop in our sadhana bhakti. Because it's very difficult for us to be beggars because we have never sought somebody's generosity so badly in this material world, especially those who come from a good middle class family who are financially stable or doing well. And beggar is also not a good word in this world, right? So we don't know how to be good beggars. So in Hare Krishna movement we struggle. And we come to ISKCON, we come with a lot of pride in our abilities, in our false ego would rebel at the prospect of seeking somebody's mercy. But if we want to make advancement, if we want to overcome this misconception of I and mine, we have to reach a stage where I can take the mood of a beggar and beg Krishna, Krishna, please let me serve you. Krishna, please give me your love. Of course, we continue to fight Maya bravely, but a devotee knows that I am simply a beggar. So what I'm talking about today is a dual role. We all have to play double role in bhakti. One is soldier, the other is a beggar. And this is the paradox that an intelligent devotee learns to accept as part of his devotional life. So we fight. So the soldier, as a soldier, we were reading Haridas Thakur pastime. Now again we read. But we realize, when we read the pastime as a beggar, we realize that, Haridas Thakur would beg the Lord for mercy. He considered himself as an insignificant insect. That's what we see. And then Haridas Thakur saw all other devotees as worshipable. So therefore, the mood of a beggar becomes more appealing as we start reading scriptures in this mood that I am helpless and I cannot fight Maya, I cannot struggle endlessly, I need to surrender. We need to move from that struggle to surrender zone. And then we read the prayers of exalted acharyas, devotees in Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the mood of a beggar. Then the actual magic starts happening. This is the time we start moving from the head to the heart. See, our bhakti, unfortunately, who was saying this? Niranjan Maharaj was saying once, that, Purnachandra Maharaj was saying that our bhakti many times is a neck above bhakti, which means it's all about analysis. We should be neck below, in the sense that it should be heart. We have to use our heart. So what happened, for a long time, we have been devising strategies to counter Maya and fighting Maya. We had faith in our abilities and determination, but over time we realized that Maya is more powerful than my determination. So now I have to aspire. And then aspire to be Krishna's servant, I have to beg for mercy. And as our heart starts bathing in that connection with Krishna, Krishna's love, then we learn to see Maya for who she is. She's an agent of Krishna. She's going to torture me. That's a thankless task. But I'm happy to be a beggar and I need Krishna's mercy. And there is a great example in history of a warrior who became a beggar. Anybody knows? And he got a lot of mercy of the Lord. A very famous example in our scriptures of a warrior who, when he became a beggar, King Pratap Rudra, Maharaj Pratap Rudra, thank you. So in Jagannath Puri, see, we have to understand, Pratap Rudra Maharaj had such influence, and who was his power, and who was his spiritual master? Sarvam Bhattacharya, who was like incarnation of Brahaspati, Guru of the Devtas. So it's very, very interesting. Maharaj Pratap Rudra wanted audience with Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya said, he is a Vishayi, materialistic person. I'm not going to meet him. And Bhattacharya is telling Lord Chaitanya, Are, he is a very nice king, he is a devotee. Lord Chaitanya says, no, I will not meet him. And he is a great warrior, administrator, king. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, devotees kept requesting him. Mahaprabhu said, if you keep requesting, I will leave Jagannath Puri. But devotee said, no, stay here. And meanwhile, Maharaj Pratap Rudra is desperate. Please, I want mercy. And devotees are trying indirect and direct ways to convince the Lord, please give your mercy to Pratap Rudra Maharaj. It's a very fascinating pastime. You should read. Once what happened, all devotees decided that we will go to Lord Chaitanya and we will sit in front of him, because he gets angry if we request him to give mercy to Pratap Rudra Maharaj. So what we will do, we will not tell him to meet Prataprudra Maharaj. We will just go in front of him and one of you start glorifying Prataprudra Maharaj. Then I will say something and you say something. So they made all planning like that. And Nityanand Prabhu was the leader. He said, I will speak something first, then you speak. And then so Mahaprabhu will hear, oh, King Prataprudra is so glorious, then his heart will melt. So that's the strategy they made. So they came in front of Lord Chaitanya and they were sitting. Lord Chaitanya sensed something is wrong. And he looked at all of them and all of them are looking at each other. Shuru karo. And Mahaprabhu said, something you want to say? And then who will begin? Because you can't do all this diplomacy with Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Lord. So then Nityanand Prabhu said, forget all this, dramabaji. Let us come to the point. He said, Lord Chaitanya, please, you just give mercy to Prataprudra Maharaj. Please, he's a very nice king. We are trying to do all this, but you please, he's a very nice devotee. Lord Chaitanya said, no. So like that, Lord Chaitanya would keep avoiding Prataprudra Maharaj. So Prataprudra Maharaj became so determined, he said a very famous statement. He wrote a letter to Varam Bhattacharya saying that, you can repeat this verse, it's a very beautiful verse. Yadi more kripa na kori Beggar hari. Rajya chhadi yogi hoila hoibe Bihari. Hoibe Bihari. So what is Prataprudra Maharaj saying? Yadi more kripa na kori Beggar hari. If Lord Gaur Hari will not give me mercy, what I will do? Rajya chhadi, I will give up my kingdom. Yogi hoila hoibe Bihari, I will become a beggar. This is the king's determination that I will give up being a warrior and become what? Beggar. And Prataprudra Maharaj personally served all the devotees. He was very humble, great happiness. In fact, he also cleaned the chariot, before Jagannath Rath Yatra, the procession, in front of the Rath, he cleaned. He did menial service. So Lord Chaitanya was happy. And what also happened, very many interesting things happened. And it's a very long pastime. I'm just going forward. So there was one governor of Prataprudra Maharaj, Ramananda Rai. He was in Madras province. And Lord Chaitanya became very close to him. And Lord Chaitanya told him, you resign and join me. And so Ramananda Rai is telling his king, Prataprudra Maharaj, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has asked me to join him. Just try to understand this. Prataprudra Maharaj is the king. He is desperate to meet Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is not meeting him. But his subordinate is getting all the mercy. Are you getting? So what will happen to the king generally? Arey, mere ko nahi mil rahe, isko mil rahe. So I will become envious of my subordinate. Generally, this is what would happen. But when Ramananda Rai asked Prataprudra Maharaj, please give me chance, I want to go. He became so happy. Prataprudra Maharaj, wow, you are so fortunate. He didn't feel envious. He embraced Ramananda Rai and he said, go. And Ramananda Rai comes to Lord Chaitanya and says, my dear Lord, I could come to you because of Prataprudra Maharaj. He is also giving shifarish. He is also giving recommendation that this king is very good. Are you seeing the whole situation? And he is telling Lord Chaitanya, I told him, please relieve me from this governor duty. And I will resign. And my dear Lord, what did Prataprudra Maharaj tell me? Now, if you leave the job, if you leave any job, at the most your employer will say, okay, I accept a resignation, get lost, go. But you know what Prataprudra Maharaj told Ramananda Rai? You want to leave the job and go and serve Lord Chaitanya, I accept your resignation and I will give you salary also of being governor. तुम्हारा ये वेतन तुम्ही खाओ से वर्तन निश्चिंता आना बजे चैतन्य चरण. He is saying, तुम्हारा ये वेतन खाओ और निश्चिंत होकर कृष्ण का भजन करो, चैतन्य महाप्रभु के शरण में रहो. So he is telling that, my dear Lord, see how good the king is. I don't have even one drop of love that he has for you. So please give him mercy. So like that, Ramananda Rai is telling whom? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All of you are there, no? You are understanding what's the flow of the pastime, right? So when Lord Chaitanya heard this, abhi ye to obvious evidence hai. The king is free of envy. So Lord Chaitanya should say, yes, I will meet him. No, Lord Chaitanya, see, Krishna loves to play hide and seek. You cannot get Krishna so easily. So Lord Chaitanya will not come to Prataprudra just like that. So what did Lord Chaitanya say when Ramananda Rai is presenting obvious fact that Prataprudra Maharaj is very good? So what did Lord Chaitanya say? Prabhu kahe tumi Krishna bhakta pradhan. Mahaprabhu said, you Ramananda Rai, you are Krishna's best devotee. So therefore, that Raja is serving you. Prabhu kahe tumi Krishna bhakta pradhan. Toma kaye priti kare sei bhagyavan. Because he is serving you, he is very bhagyavan. And because he loves you, toma kaye eta priti hoila rajara. Yei gune Krishna tandre kuribe angikara. Because he loves you, Krishna will give him mercy one day. Mahaprabhu doesn't say, I will give him mercy. Mahaprabhu says, Krishna will take care of him. But Mahaprabhu continues to neglect him. But one day when Prataprudra Maharaj is brooming, is cleaning the place in front of the Rath Yatra, that time Lord Chaitanya becomes very happy to see him doing menial seva. And then Mahaprabhu is dancing in the Kirtan. There are 7 groups. Lord Chaitanya is dancing in all the group at the same time. Nobody can see this. Everybody thinks Lord Chaitanya is in my group only. Very, very few people could see Lord Chaitanya in all 7 groups at the same time. And Prataprudra Maharaj was one of them. And why he could see? Raja tuchcha seva dekhi prabhur tushtaman seito prasade paila rahasya darshan. He got this rahasya darshan because he did this menial seva. He was not as a great king, he was a humble servant. That's what Lord Chaitanya saw, and Mahaprabhu gave mercy. But the story does not end there. So it's not that Mahaprabhu said, okay, now I'll give him mercy. So no, then Mahaprabhu was dancing, and they made circle to protect Lord Chaitanya. Because Mahaprabhu would dance, he would be wild. So there was a circle of protecting devotees. And there are second circle, third circle like that to protect devotees. And Prataprudra Maharaj wanted to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing. So he was putting his hand on his minister, Harichandan's shoulder, and trying to see Mahaprabhu's dance. And in front of Harichandan was Srivas Thakur. So he was repeatedly telling Srivas Thakur, "Arey, side mein jao," because he wanted to see Mahaprabhu dancing in the kirtan. So Srivas Thakur ko बार-बार कोई ऐसा पीछे से कर रहा है. Remember, who is Harichandan? Minister of Maharaj Prataprudra. Emperor Prataprudra is behind, wanting to take darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Harichandan is telling Srivas Thakur, side mein jao. And this kirtan is going on exciting and he's getting irritated. So how did he resolve that irritation? He turned back and Chapada Mariya Tare Kaila Nivaran. Oh, Japad Marke Pura Nivaran. He solved the problem by slapping. So what do you think will happen to the minister? Abhi Harichandan is a minister. He is doing this not for himself. Why is he doing this? Why is he telling Srivas Thakur to go? Because he wants the king to take darshan. But what did Srivas Thakur do? He slapped him. Chapad Mariya Tare Kaila Nivaran. Chapad Khana Kruddha Hoila Harichandan. Harichandan became very angry. How dare you slap me? Because he took it as a slap for the king. Now this is a test, provocative situation. If the king was actually in the mood of a beggar, or he was pretending to be a beggar and a servant. See, what happens is I may pretend to be a great devotee, but when I am provoked, my real nature comes out. But when here Maharaj Prataprudra is seeing this, and immediately this happened, Harichandan was slapped. Harichandan is angry. In that 1 microsecond, Maharaj Prataprudra immediately grabbed Harichandan. And what did he say? Very interesting verse. Bhagyavana tumi hiyar hasta sparsha paila. Amar bhagya nahi tumi kritartha hoila. You are Bhagyavan. तुमको श्रीवास ठाकुर का हाथ का स्पर्श मिला. मेरा भाग्य नहीं है. काश वो मुझे झापड़ मारता. That was something unimaginable. A great king is telling that, oh, you are so fortunate. You got slapped by Srivas Thakur. I wish I got that slap. See, now this is not enough. King was not even spared a public humiliation. by the Lord. What happened during the chanting and dancing? Suddenly the kirtan was going on. Suddenly Lord Chaitanya fell on Prataprudra Maharaj's arms. ऐसा हो जाता ना बीच-बीच में. So much kirtan is happening. Suddenly, no, King Prataprudra is trying to meet Lord Chaitanya for so many months. He is trying. Lord Chaitanya is avoiding him. And suddenly in the kirtan, आमने सामने, Lord Chaitanya is falling on his arms. And Lord Chaitanya looks. The emperor is there and is holding Lord Chaitanya. Time stood still. This was the culmination of many, many months of intense separation the king had felt for Lord. But what happened now? The most shocking incident happened. Lord Chaitanya is in the arms of Prataprudra Maharaj, is looking at him. अभी तो नहीं भाग सकते. इतना avoid किया, अभी तो सामने आ गए. Already Lord Chaitanya is pleased with his jadu and he is already serving so many devotees. So Lord Chaitanya is pleased. But what did Lord Chaitanya say? Raja Deki Mahaprabhu Korena Dikkar. Mahaprabhu saw Raja and Dikkar. What did he say? Raja Deki Mahaprabhu Korena Dikkar. Chi Chi Vishaira Sparsha Hoila Amar. Mahaprabhu's first reaction was Chi. Chi, किसको देख लिया? विषयीरा स्पर्शा. ये सेंस ग्रेटिफायर मटेरियलिस्टिक किंग, इसको टच किया. छी. इमेजिन द एम्परर, पहले तो झापड़ खाया, अभी सबके सामने बोला छी, ये एम्परर है. इमेजिन यू आर गिविंग क्लास, सम प्रीचिंग प्रोग्राम, एंड द एम्परर, लाइक द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया कम्स एंड सिट्स. विल यू से छी? प्राइम मिनिस्टर आ गया. अरे इतना सेवा करेगा कोई, तो हम बोलेंगे अरे हमारा अहो भाग्य आप आ गए. We will be happy if some industrialist, some cricket star, some movie star, king comes in our preaching or comes in front of us and seeks audience. But look at Lord Chaitanya. और ये राजा desperate है, उसको बोल दिया छी. He gets completely shaken and but he has faith in his guru, Sarvam Bhattacharya. Sarvam Bhattacharya assures him. You know what Sarvam Bhattacharya tells him? अरे Mahaprabhu loves you. Don't worry, he loves you. He's just saying this to you to educate others that we should not associate with materialistic people. Lord loves you. वो बहुत उसको, he gets shaken, but he has faith. And then Mahaprabhu is tired during the kirtan at one place when the Rath Yatra stops. Mahaprabhu is taking rest. So then Sarvam Bhattacharya tells him, give up your kingly robes, put on a Vaishnava robe, become simple devotee, go and start massaging Lord's feet. And he starts massaging Lord's feet. Lord is taking rest. And he starts chanting Gopi Geet verses very humbly. And Lord Chaitanya becomes so happy to hear him chant verses from 10th canto of Bhagavatam. He starts chanting those famous verses. Tava katamritam tapta jivanam kavibiriditam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam shrimadatatam bhuvi grinanti ye bhurida jana. Bhurida, oh merciful, oh most compassionate. So he's chanting these verses. So Mahaprabhu hears. Mahaprabhu already loves him. So what happens then is very interesting. Tava katamrita shloka raja ye podila uti prema veshe prabhu alingana koila. When he started singing these verses, Tava katamrit, Mahaprabhu got up in great joy and embraced the king. Abhi tak to bhavi nahi de rahe the, gali de rahe the, now he embraced him. And then Mahaprabhu told him something interesting. He said, you are giving me so much joy by chanting these verses. Tumi more dile bahu amulya ratan. But I am not able to give you anything. You are giving me such amulya ratan. What I will give you? Tumi more dile bahu amulya ratan. More na dile khichu dilu alingan. I can only give you embrace. Mahaprabhu embraced him. So now you may say Mahaprabhu is happy. The story has ended. Great? No. There is a final test. The test is not over. The Lord became very happy. And at that time, Mahaprabhu asked him. Now, Lord Chaitanya knows who he is. But he is in what dress? Not king's dress. Lord Chaitanya says, who are you? Lord Chaitanya asks him. Now, at that time, what the king could have said? Mahaprabhu, I am Emperor Prataprudra Maharaj. You know, I was trying to meet you for so long, but we could not meet. So, thank you. At last, you have recognized me. Hare Krishna. He could have given his visiting card, the emperor. No, this is the most amazing, this is the final test. When Lord Chaitanya asked him, who are you? Mahaprabhu told him, Prabhu bole ke tumi koila mora hita achambite ashi piyao Krishna Lila Amrita. You are giving me nectar of Krishna Lila. Who are you? Tell me. And what did Prataprudra Maharaj say at that time? Raja kahe ami tomar daser anudas. Brityera yai britya kara yai mora ash. Mera asha, my desire is what? Brityare britya kara. Means I want to be servant of your servant. And who am I? Raja kahe ami tomar daser anudas. I am the servant of your servant and I want to be the servant of your servant. That was the final test. And he passed that test. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him. And then Kaviraj Goswami says after that, they were never separated. They were always together. So this story has many dramatic twists and turns. It can be a 4-hour mega blockbuster movie. This is recounted in Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 1 to 25. If you read, you will get all these pastimes. So what is noteworthy in this episode, why it is very special is, the king moving away from his position as a royal warrior and administrator to that of being a servant and a beggar. That is the essence of Krishna consciousness. See, what happens, many of us, we often identify ourselves with our external designations. Like, what are the external designations we identify? Brahman, whom I am. Birth or gender, caste, or abilities, qualifications, beauty, and nowadays social media presence. These are external designations. But to win the Lord's favor, we need to move away from these temporary and limiting designations, and we need to be in our position as servant. See, water is liquid by nature, salt is salty, sugar is sweet, mirchi, chili is hot. Similarly, we are naturally situated as servant. This is our real ahankar, this is our real identity. So when we play the beggar role, what happens? We slowly start realigning to this position of being a servant. And then we can happily serve Krishna. And then we will be, this is what Prataprudra Maharaj did. So now let us resolve this paradox in 1 minute. Basically, the paradox is what? We as devotees, are we soldiers or are we beggars? We are both. See, we are a soldier because Prabhupada said we have to become Goswami, we have to control our senses. We have to fight. There is books also, spiritual warrior. But sometimes what happens when we are as a soldier, see, soldier means, you control. But a beggar means basically you have to surrender and depend. See, in the inner life, we have to move slowly from struggle to surrender, or from being a soldier to a beggar. Basically, we have to beg for mercy. And see, a soldier will always get medals, right? Soldier gets honor. So it's nice, it's easy for us to fancy ourselves as soldiers because soldier is very attractive position. So he gets honor, he gets medals, but a beggar gets what? Beggar gets either compassion or neglect. Beggar, nobody. See, the reality is what? Reality, do we need really honor? Actually, what is our need? We all need kindness. We are all looking for love and kindness. Mercy, we are looking for kindness, and that's what a beggar will get. So therefore, and the best part is nobody is threatened by a beggar. It is a safe place for us to be practicing bhakti. Of course, as soldiers, we fight the mind's lower nature, but as beggars, we make peace with who we are. Not shameless, but we make peace. And we beg Krishna, this is who I am. Please help karo, Krishna. See, sometimes as soldiers, we become tough and hard-hearted and our spiritual emotions get buried. But as beggars, we seek love and compassion. So I would like to end with this quote of Srila Prabhupada. In the preface of Krishna book, he writes beautiful statement. He says, the art of focusing one's attention on the Supreme and giving one's love to Him is called Krishna consciousness. I'll repeat. The art of focusing one's attention on the Supreme and giving one's love to Him is called Krishna consciousness. Therefore, we are aspiring to give our heart to Krishna. We want to move from the head to the heart. And basically, that means we have to move from being a soldier to a beggar. Then we can give up this misconceptions of aham, mameti, I and mine, then we can actually experience Krishna in our life. Then all of this will make sense. Then we'll be part of Krishna's beautiful realm, Krishna's space. I want to pause here. Any comments or questions if we have, we can take now. Yes, Shadbhuj bro.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, it's a comment. Your class reminded me of His Holiness Bhaktitirth Maharaj. During the height of his preaching career, he wrote this celebrated Spiritual Warrior series, and towards the end, he wrote the Beggar series.
Beautiful. Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for a beautiful class. So in other words, we can say that when we come to the Bhakti Marg, in the gambit of Bhakti, first we are influenced by the Jnana Yoga, where we are more like soldier, and then we become beggar, and that is the actual Bhakti Yoga.
See, don't analyze it too much. The point is, yes, when we are new, many of us are young, so we equate bhakti with activities and goals, achievement. And that's needed, we need to burn our passion. So we like, I remember when I joined the temple, I had this target desire to distribute 100 books every day. 100 to karna hi hai. So then I realized, but over a period of time, I realized there are days when I distributed less, but I was more Krishna conscious. Sometimes, we become trapped by the external aspects of bhakti many times. But slowly we need to understand there is more to bhakti than simply the numbers or external aspects. Ultimately, the idea is we need to overcome and give up all these layers. There are many layers on our identity, the soul. वो सब peel off करना है. जैसे अनियन है ना, प्याज का आप निकाल देते हो ना सब layers. तो हमारा layers है नित्य अहंकार, सब निकालना है. And then we can actually come in face to face with Krishna. Like, there's one lecture of Srila Prabhupada, he's speaking about in West somewhere. He said these two lovers are meeting in a frozen, that's minus 40 degrees Celsius. They are covered with so much of sweater, jacket, glasses, gloves. You can't know who is that human being. Completely covered. So they meet at the designated park where they meet, but they can't recognize each other. Only when they remove that thick layer, then they can connect with each other. Srila Prabhupada gives this example. Similarly, we are not able to connect with Krishna right now because this ahankar, mithya ahankar, layers. So we need to, बोलते हैं ना, नंगा हो जाना चाहिए भगवान के सामने. Krishna, ये मेरा औकात है. This is where I am, Krishna. I've come in front of you, Krishna. Please help me. So some of us are able to get it right in the beginning of bhakti. Some of us have to go through kicks and beatings by Maya, and then we come. But however, we have to come to Krishna. That is important. या तो लात खा के आओ, या तो पहले ही बुद्धिमान हो, आप आ गए, अच्छा है. I would like to end with one story. The very famous tennis player. I'm able to connect this. I'm remembering this. Very, very famous tennis player. When I was in college, he was like a very flamboyant and a star player. His name was Andre Agassi. And everywhere media used to follow him. And he had never won any Grand Slam tournament. Finally, he reached the finals of French Open. See, Grand Slam is like, it's like, World Cup for cricket premies. So Grand Slam ka finals mein aa gaya, and everybody thought, we were all fans of Andre Agassi. We thought he's going to win. But what happened? He lost badly. Why? Because from the age of 18 or 17, he started growing bald. Takla hone laga. So every night he would get up every morning he would get up from the bed, he would see few hair on the pillow. So he got scared. By the time he was 18, he became totally bald. See, we are all voluntarily bald. But he was involuntarily bald. So you can imagine, kitna, and everybody, the media is thinking he's very handsome, beautiful. So what he did, he put a wig. वो wig पहन के खेलता था. And that wig was also very attractive. And he was winning matches. But when he reached French Open finals, the final is going to start in the afternoon 3 o'clock. 1 o'clock he went to take shower. When he was getting ready to take bath, suddenly his wig fell. And he got scared. Arey, wig गिर गया. And he thought, now when I play the match, final match, सोचो, wig गिर गया तो क्या होगा? All the cameras are watching. The whole world is watching the match. He got so scared. Immediately called his brother. His brother came. They fixed the wig on his head अच्छे से. 20 clips they put ताकि गिरना नहीं चाहिए ना. And his brother said, संभाल के हाँ, ज़्यादा कूदना मत खेलते समय. So he's putting this wig and then he's playing the match. Abhi, just imagine, you think he will win? If you can't jump while playing tennis match, you will not win. So he has this 20 clips and his wig. So he's more wig conscious than the match. And what happened? Naturally, he lost. And the world is saying he played so bad. Kya ho gaya isko? And he is quiet. And then he came back home and he realized, Arey, kya ho gaya? How did I lose? Because he was not, he was hiding something. He was holding on. So next time what he did? Dunya gai baad mein. He said, let the world think what it wants. He removed his wig and he came out. And everybody, cameras flashing. Arey, Andre kaise takla hai. How many days? 2-3 days. Then that became fashion. Because he is a celebrity. And then next tournament he played, completely bald. Bindas he played and he went on to win the Grand Slam. Then he won 8 more Grand Slams. And he is considered as one of the greatest tennis players of all time. Why I told this story? Not to entertain you. But there is a purport. We are holding on to so many things which prevents us from expressing emotions and experiencing emotions for Krishna. There is something which is preventing us from experiencing and expressing emotions for Krishna. And that is these wigs. We are holding on to the identity. I am great, I am beautiful, I am Gujarati, Marwadi, wealthy, handsome, whatever. So many designations. ये सब निकालना पड़ेगा, कृष्ण के सामने आके टकला होना पड़ेगा. Not literally, but Krishna, I am yours. Krishna, this is where I am. I am not wonderful. I am not the way I imagine I am. Okay, I get the message. I'll stop. Thank you very much. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Thank you very much.
Which book was the definition?